Right now, we're investigating a series of events so extraordinary that even skeptics are beginning to wonder if something supernatural is at work. Two of the most powerful globalist figures have suddenly vanished from the world stage on the same day, and an ancient prophecy from centuries ago appears to be unfolding with chilling precision. What happened in the final hours before Pope Francis' death? And why did the architect of the Great Reset abruptly abandon his post after vowing to never step down? And what does a 900-year-old prediction about the final pope have to do with what's happening right now? Well, the connections we've uncovered will leave you questioning everything. Now, in these prophetic times, looking your best matters more than ever. A startling 2024 study shows that collagen can transform aging skin quickly. Women taking daily collagen reported fewer wrinkles, firmer skin, and improved hydration, but not all collagen is created equal. That's why I only trust this multi-collagen formula. 5 key ingredients from 4 different sources essential for reducing wrinkles and promoting elasticity. Using hydrolyzed peptides and for rapid absorption, this non-GNO formula blends perfectly into coffee or smoothies with virtually no taste. Get 51% off today at healthwithgary.com and discover the Vatican's best-kept beauty secret. All right. Did you hear the news? Yeah, the Pope is no more. That's right. But has a prophecy been activated? Pope Francis dead hours after meeting Vice President Vance, and Klaus Schwab resigns from the World Economic Forum on the same day. The globalist system is collapsing as ancient Vatican prophecy warns of a final pope before Christ's return in 2027? Well, let's dig a little bit deeper. Remember, no man knows the day nor the hour of Christ's return. So some people do think it's in 2027. Of course, 2027 is a broad category of time. It's 1 year. No man knows the day nor the hour. That's what Scripture says. But the year? I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not a date setter. That's not me. Other people have, other things. But the Lord always told us to watch. That was the instruction, to watch. Watch and know the hour and the time of the seasons, right? He gave us signs to watch for. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance, he was one of the last global leaders to see the Pope alive. On Easter Sunday, the frail pontiff received Vance at the Vatican. Vance told him, "I pray for you every day." Hours later, the Pope was dead. The timing has sent shockwaves through the Vatican. Here's some AP video from that meeting.
Hello. How are you again? Yeah, so good to see you. Thank you. Hello. So good to see you. God bless you and good morning. How are you?
Find yourself. Happy Easter.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Easter to you, Father. Wonderful. I know you've not been feeling great, but it's good to see you in better health.
Grazie.
Anche buona Pasquale e vice.
Grazie Santo Padre.
Thank you.
These are for your children.
Okay, thank you.
These are the gifts. These are also gifts for you as well.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
The Vatican tie, and then the rosaries for your wife, the white for your children, and the red one is for the red. Thank you very much for your visit.
Of course. And thank you for seeing me. Pray for you every day. God bless you.
Io prego per lei ogni giorno, che Dio la benedica. Grazie Santo Padre.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
And that was it. Now, President Trump has announced he will attend Pope Francis' funeral in Rome. He said, "Melania and I will be going to the funeral of Pope Francis. We look forward to being there." True statesmanship, even though this Pope often criticized Trump's policies. Here's the post that Trump made on Truth Social just a few hours ago. Also, President Trump has ordered the flags half-mast for Pope Francis, saying he was a good man. But of course, you'll notice how the media ignores Trump's respectful response while they fabricate division. This is how a real leader honors foreign dignitaries.
Really something. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and a very happy Easter to everyone. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and it's a beautiful day today. We don't have to worry about sunburn, but looks like it's not going to be raining. It's going to be really something special. 40,000, 42,000 people are expected all throughout the day, and it's an honor to have you. I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard, he loved the world, and it's an honor to do that. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is some band. I've heard this band actually indirectly for 4 years and very directly now for 4.5. And I like the direct method even better. But the Marine Corps band is very, very special. Thank you very much. What a great job. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to thank the National Park Service, the job they do and making everything so beautiful and spiffy. And I'm very difficult when it comes to that. I will tell you, very, very difficult. And I say they have done an incredible job. You just have to look around and see.
Now, we're going to take a look at the Easter message that President Trump gave, declaring America is a nation of believers and that we need God and we want God. While the left attacks Christianity, Trump stands firm in defending our nation's spiritual foundation. The contrast couldn't be more clear.
Devotion to all. On Easter Sunday, we celebrate his glorious resurrection and proclaim, as Christians have done for nearly 2,000 years, he is risen. Through the pain and sacrifice of Jesus on the cross, we saw God's boundless love and devotion to all humanity. And in that moment of his resurrection, history was forever changed with the promise of everlasting life. As we approach this joyous Easter Sunday, I want to wish Christians everywhere a happy and beautiful and blessed holiday. America is a nation of believers. We need God. We want God. And with his help, we will make our nation stronger, safer, greater, and more prosperous, and much more united than ever before. Thank you to everyone, and have a really happy Easter.
Amen. Thank you for that. And he had this message to say to his enemies, showing his true Christian spirit. Happy Easter to all, including the radical left lunatics. Even while fighting those bringing in murderers and drug lords, Trump extends forgiveness. This is the leader guiding us through these prophetic times. Happy Easter, he says, including all the radical left lunatics who are fighting and scheming so hard to bring murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners, and the mentally insane, and well-known MS-13 gang members and wife-beaters back into our country. Happy Easter to the weak and ineffective judges and law enforcement officials who are allowing the sinister attack on our nation to continue. An attack so violent it will never be forgotten. Sleepy Joe Biden purposefully allowed millions of criminals to enter our country, totally unvetted and unchecked, through an open borders policy that will go down in history as the single most calamitous act ever perpetrated upon America. He was by far our worst and most incompetent president, a man who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, but to him and the person that ran and manipulated the upend, perhaps our real president, and to all the people who cheated in the 2020 presidential election in order to get this highly destructive moron elected, I wish you, with great love, sincerity, and affection, a very happy Easter. President Trump from his Truth Social, 8:46 a.m. on 4/20. And then we have this from Kristen Meghan, filing a report for the Next News Network on the grounds of the White House. Must see Easter egg roll packed with MAGA supporters. The weather was just right, far right, kids learning real farming, military band playing, people from all walks coming together. And of course, the media won't show you these scenes of American unity. Let's go to Kristen Meghan on the grounds at the White House.
It's been an amazing... Hello, Gary and friends of the Next News Network. Kristen Meghan here, reporting from Washington, D.C. I came here from the People's Republic of Michigan and came with some friends and our children. It's been an amazing event, and it's so much more than just an egg roll activity where you take a wooden spoon and you just go through this little maze. There are science-based activities, art-based activities, and even cookie decorating, although it had food dye. But overall, it's been an amazing weather day. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It is just right. Far right. There's a lot of mega hats here. There's a lot of people getting along from all walks of life. And one of the coolest things was that this is sponsored by farmers. And kids are learning about the process of farming, the health and safety aspects, the inspection aspects, and they got cute little gold eggs after the Easter egg hunt. This has been amazing. There is also military band playing right now and just so many activities. They did a great job of getting people in at different shifts so it's not too overcrowded. But Gary, I highly recommend this for years to come because this event was way more than I imagined, and I'm so grateful to be here. Hello, Gary.
Thank you for that, Kristen. Meanwhile, the left's derangement continues. Paid protesters so incompetent, they're protesting at Vice President Vance's empty home while he was in Rome. These are the intellectual elites trying to take over our country. Can't even figure out basic geography. Yeah, he's not even there. Sick, though. This is real sick. Kennedy grandson Jack Schlossberg accuses Vice President Vance of killing the Pope. That's the new conspiracy theory on the left. JD killed the Pope, he posted. The unhinged left spreading vile conspiracy theories about ricin poison in the handshake. This is what passes for respectable discourse from the Democrats. This picture was posted. Yeah, that's just an example. And then someone posted this picture of J.D. Vance as the Grim Reaper. And then here is the Schlossberg post of the Kennedy family. Oh, okay, J.D. killed the Pope. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But the ancient prophecy of the popes predicted this exact moment. With Francis gone, we await Peter the Roman, the final pope before Christ's return. The 900-year-old manuscript points to 2027 as the year of judgment, just 20 months from now. And if you're not familiar with the St. Malachi prophecies, this is what it looks like, describing and naming all of the popes all the way until the final pope. Now, there's three frontrunners to replace Francis that are all named Peter: Cardinal Peter Erdo, Peter Turkson, and Pietro Parolin. The prophecy's final line: Peter the Roman will feed his flock amid many tribulations. Everything is aligning. Check out this commentary on that prophecy.
All the way to our current. Have you guys ever heard of the prophecy of the popes? This book was found in the Vatican archives in the 1500s. His name was Malachi of Armagh, which he was a saint from like the 1100s or something.
This guy who wrote it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this book has 111 cryptic phrases and basically predicted every single pope all the way to our current pope. But the scary thing is, after Pope Francis, the last one, ends in a paragraph stating the end of the papacy, which is the end of the popes, the destruction of Rome, and Judgment Day.
Oh, God.
So this book actually gave name by name by name of every pope. Now, there's not a ton of popes, but to get even 4 right would be a miracle. But he's got every single one right since around, I think, 1300. And it would be so unlikely when you're trying to fulfill prophecy on your own to try and find somebody who would fit each of those popes' description and then hand that down to the next generation of cardinals who would pick the next popes. It just couldn't happen.
Have you guys ever heard of the prophecy of the popes? This book.
Well, now you have. Now, the papal conclave will begin soon. 120 cardinals under age 80 will vote for the next pope under total secrecy, no phones, no outside contact. Will they elect the prophesied Peter the Roman, who will witness the seven-hilled city destroyed before Christ's return?
Ceremony.
This is from the New York Post.
There's always been
today.
an air of secrecy around the Vatican when it comes to electing a new pope, which has been a closed-door process since the year 1059 and has long sparked the public's imagination. Most recently, Hollywood dipped its toe into exploring the shrouded ceremony that takes place under Michelangelo's fresco of the Last Judgment with the film Conclave. Now, with the passing of Pope Francis, all eyes are on the Catholic Church once again as it prepares to choose a new leader. When a pope dies or resigns, a special group of cardinals, called the College of Cardinals, convenes at the Vatican from all over the world. The members of this group have all been chosen by the Pope and don distinctive red robes as they prepare for the papal conclave. This process usually begins 15 to 20 days following the death of a pope. Technically, any Roman Catholic man can be elected as pope, but in reality, only one of the 252 cardinals at the conclave will be chosen. When it comes to the vote itself, a maximum of 120 are allowed to participate, and they have to be under the age of 80. They are known as the cardinal electors, and they better be ready to say goodbye to their cell phones.
And they must be shielded from all news that may influence their judgment. You understand?
These 120 electors take a Latin oath of absolute secrecy before sealing themselves off from any outside influence. Each cardinal votes by secret ballot at the Sistine Chapel. There's always been an air of secrecy around.
Alex Jones was talking about Pope Francis today, the first Jesuit pope against canon law. Listen.
Completely resigned. Two huge events happened today. Pope Francis died, and Klaus Schwab completely resigned from the WEF. Both of these are massive events. Now, it's not nice to talk bad about the dead, but the facts are Pope Francis was the first Jesuit pope. When they set up the Jesuits over 500 years ago to police the Catholic Church, it was expressly against the law, canon law, to have one be a pope. Because you can't have the Praetorian Guard that supposedly protect the faith of Jesus, then be the ones that would obviously put their guy in. But that happened. So all the globalists had to do was get control of the Jesuits, which they totally turned into a huge leftist, basically communist arm in the last 100 years. Then they had control of the Catholic Church. Like every other major institution has been taken over by the globalists. We're now in the process of humanity awakening and taking back the institutions all over the world. Catholics are great people. That's why the globalists have been targeting traditional Catholics, trying to outlaw them and say they're criminals. But if you really want to take over the different large sects Christianity, you've got to take over the leadership of it. So his death, when he promoted open borders and one world religion and just criticized President Trump and other populist leaders that went on and on, is really emblematic of the overall collapsing globalist system we see. And I say, God have mercy on his soul. I'm not going to judge him. But most Catholics I know absolutely think that he was a terrible, terrible pope.
Klaus Schwab, of course, fleeing the World Economic Forum. You will own nothing. Abandoning his globalist creation. Here's more from AJ.
2 years ago, now moving on to who we know is pure evil. And that is Klaus Schwab, the protege of Henry Kissinger, the mouthpiece of the UN and the globalists. 2 years ago, they made the WEF co-equal with the UN under global government. I mean, this is massive. So 6 months ago, he resigns as the chairman. That wasn't enough. Then he resigned off the main committee. Now he's completely resigned from the WEF today because he's so hated and nobody wants to be part of that organization, and it's falling apart. It was the preeminent globalist organization just a few years ago. You will eat the bugs. And now it is falling down in front of everybody. And all of their policies around the world are being shut down. And the U.S. taxpayer money through USAID and the EPA, hundreds of millions a year, is being cut off. And so the mouth of the New World Order is discredited, is falling apart. And Klaus Schwab just said 2 years ago he would never resign. Now he's completely gone out of the organization he founded. Be really the public face of the Bilderberg Group. So this is a very, very exciting time to be alive. Now moving on to who we know is pure evil, and that is Klaus Schwab.
So are we witnessing biblical prophecy unfold before our eyes? Pope Francis dead, Schwab fleeing the World Economic Forum. Ancient prophecies and predictions of the final pope are activating. Is this a spiritual battle our ancestors warned about? Well, the signs are everywhere, and we're going to keep tracking this. So the timing is simply uncanny. Vice President J.D. Vance was among the last to see Pope Francis alive, telling him, "I pray for you every day." Hours later, the Pope was gone, and as cardinals prepare for the conclave to select the new pontiff, the prophecy of St. Malachi looms large, predicting Peter the Roman will be the final pope. Who witnesses the destruction of Rome before Christ's return? Meanwhile, Klaus Schwab, the architect of the Great Reset, who vowed he would never resign, has suddenly abandoned his post at the World Economic Forum the very same day. So something monumental is happening. The old order is crumbling. The globalist system is breaking down, and the spiritual dimension cannot be ignored. So are we witnessing the fulfillment of prophecy, or is something even more sinister unfolding behind the scenes? Drop a comment below and make sure you support the Next News Network by hitting our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Link below.